the rationale why we are not able to have regular power supply. And very unfortunately, and I repeat, very unfortunately, in the last 25 years, since I moved to Lagos, we've been witnessing epileptic electricity supply. Even if this electricity were to be transported from China by road, in the last 25 years, by now we should have gotten it right. Unfortunately, we haven't. I think this is a major, major challenge. You will not appreciate this until when you compare, the resources companies have to spend to buy gigantic generators, 2,000 kVA, 1,000 kVA, and you have to power these generators with diesel. Some of these generators take an average of 100 liters per hour, 200 liters per hour, and the cost implication. Only about 2 days ago, it was reported that the entire GSM service provider spent an average of 2.5 trillion naira just to buy diesel. This is an avoidable expenditure. And when you do have to incur that expenditure and you have to pass it on to your consumers, you become a little uncompetitive. Therefore, Nigeria becomes a dumping ground. When you go to, say, China or India or Malaysia, where there is regular electricity supply and manufacturers, and in these entrepreneurs need not to generate their own electricity, they can produce some of these goods despite the distance, still incur the cost of transporting the goods and come to Nigeria and sell far cheaper than if you had to do it to manufacture this product locally. And I think following closely to the issue of electricity is our attitude. I call it attitude because in general, when people begin to talk about corruption, I look at it in a fairly holistic, angle, from a holistic angle to say attitude. Number one, most of the time, staff are so indolent. Instead of identifying with the company, working as if they own the company, because they do own the company, because they earn a living there. They come late, they sit down not working. Even when you pay them the best of salaries, they still tend to pilfer, steal, and the productivity is so abysmal that you wonder why you are having such staff. And that is why if you take a census of most of the companies in Nigeria, they tend to import staff from India, even at shop floor level, which shouldn't be the case. If Nigerians are available to work and they are ready to work, why will anybody go to Philippines or India to import staff? Then, of course, the issue of corruption. Now, it is a kind of both internally within the company as well as external. Quite a number of the Nigerian staff are not so honest, not so transparent, and character-wise, they have minors. You get mistakes that are largely based on character, not on mistakes that are based on abilities. And then to even get regulatory environment and to cross all the hurdles that governmental agencies will put, you normally come across a hell lot of under the table charges that you have to pay, ranging from importation of the plant and machinery to importation of the raw materials to getting one form of approval. Is it environment? Is it water? Is it even expatriate quota? Every little bit of it, you have to pay two prices, the official price and the under the table price. These are part of challenges and indeed factors that makes manufacturing and indeed producing products within Nigeria almost an impossibility. And I think last but not the least is movement of goods and services within the country.
Okay, before we take that, the movements and the infrastructure, the road infrastructure, I think you've touched on two very salient points. I mean, looking first of all at the cost of the factors of production, which make us uncompetitive on a global scale. And of course, you've talked about the internal problems, which is more the attitude of the Nigerian worker itself. A lot of people are out there crying that they don't have jobs. So even when they have jobs, you're telling us that they don't take those jobs quite seriously, which is quite an interesting revelation for me.